Hello, my name is Eli Barr, and welcome to my one-to-one personal technology overview. So, one-to-one personal technology, basically, it's when all students in a classroom have the opportunity to have equal access to personal technology. That can be class Chromebooks, class iPads, it can be a bring your own technology, or it can be laptops. Chromebooks and iPads are probably the most popular as it's most equitable for students. But bring your own technology, if a district can afford it, if all students have access to laptops, Chromebooks, or whatever kind of technology they need in the classroom at home, if they can bring it in, that works just as well. So, what can one to one do? One to one creates more access to resource and online tools that can be used in the classroom for teachers and for students. As we know, there are hundreds of thousands of different resources out on the internet for teachers to use, and having a one-to-one access means that they can kind of teachers can move their lessons from on paper and traditionally to online. And this way that all students can have the same opportunity to complete online work in the classroom. It also gives students more control over their education. Uh, Having this one-to-one technology integration really means that students can control what they want to learn about a little bit more. So if they're interested in a topic, they can delve deeper than they could with a traditional textbook. For example, if students are interested in the creation of our national anthem, a textbook may only say that it was in Baltimore during the War of 1812, Francis Scott Key. If they have access to a computer, they can dive a little bit deeper. They can see that it happened in the middle of the battle, that he wrote it on the back of a napkin, or that he was inspired by the war in making this anthem. And they can even see how it transitioned from a poem to what we now know as the national anthem. Next, it can motivate students. Technology is one of the biggest motivation aspects for students. Um, Technology really gives students a chance to explore not only their interests, but explore what they're good at, what they need to expand on. It really gets students into the classroom and makes them want to learn more because it gives them different aspects of learning, which kind of goes on to the next point is all learning types. One-to-one technology, having computers in the classroom, having iPads in the classroom, really allows for all different types of students to learn. So whether you're a visual learner, whether you're an auditory learner, whether you need to have graphs or you can do traditional readings, one-on-one technology allows teachers to provide content in different ways for all different students. So it really allows teachers to differentiate their lessons based on the student needs uh, in a lot more ways than we see in a traditional classroom. And last, it gives students experience to technology. Technology is probably going to be one of the biggest aspects of students' lives once they're finished with school, whether they're going to college where they need to be proficient in a whole bunch of different technologies, including laptops, email, all those prototypical things, or whether they're going into the workforce where they just maybe just need to be able to use a computer for its most basic aspects. Uh, Providing them this in school, either in elementary, middle, or high school, gives them that kind of experience and might give them a leg up on their competition when they're entering the workforce. So there are basically a limitless amount of ways that one-on-one technology can be integrated in the classroom. It can be used for warm-ups. It can be used for online readings. It can be used for creating videos. Email is a huge aspect of it. WebQuest, there are testing tools, there are review tools, there are educational games. This is just a really brief list, but really integration for one-on-one technology is limitless. There's no really limit on what teachers and students can do when they have computers in their classroom. It really opens up the playing field for teachers and students. So an example I have is from a web quest. This is a web quest I did earlier in the year. Basically, for this web quest, we had students go to a whole bunch of different websites. As we can see here, we have judiciallearningcenter.org/types of court cases. For this web quest, we had students look at what the types of cases, so criminal versus civil case, kind of determine the difference between them by giving real world examples and by showing exactly how the government is going to differentiate between the two types. So for a web quest, students can or teachers can create or can use websites, they use online magazines, they can use YouTube videos, which is actually a really cool source and within this web quest that I did, there are a couple YouTube videos that help, or you can meet any other sources. So basically, any trustworthy website, whether it's a magazine, an online book, a periodical, a blog post, as long as it's trustworthy, teachers can use it to create web quests for their students. In conclusion, one-on-one technology may not be cheap, but it's definitely a cheaper option than a lot of other sources, especially with the way Chromebooks and iPads. You can look at the older generations. You don't always have to get the newest. It can really save the school some money compared to trying to buy one for every single student, which is another option where students get to take it home, but then they have to replace it. But although it's expensive, it is very much a worthwhile endeavor. Second, we have the equitableness of one-to-one technology. That's been a big pop word or a big buzzword in MCPS, which is where I teach. So we want equality or we want equability for all students. So that way that all students have the same opportunities. As you can see in the picture below, equality is not going to be the same thing as equity. Equality isn't going to be the same, or giving all students access to Chromebooks within the classroom is going to level the playing field or allow all three people to see over the fence. If we ask students to bring their own device, which is something that we do not do in MCPS, that really would only allow a couple of students to be able to really use what they need to use or really get what they need to get out of the class. So it really levels the playing field for all students. It doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter your gender, your socioeconomic status. If the school provides Chromebooks, then all students are going to have access to it. And last, the usefulness. Obviously, there are hundreds of thousands of uses for Chromebooks in the classroom. We as teachers have only really scratched the surface of what they can be, and it's exciting to see what's going to happen in the future because there's going to be plenty more tools out there for teachers to use. Thank you.